This is a request from Stephen, and it is Alex Attison's setting of Charles Causley's poem Ballad for Katherine of Aragon. Thank you so much, Stephen.
A little known song, but I do like to perform for you. Thanks so much.
Yes, no, it's great. Thank you. As I walked down by the river, down by the frozen fen, I saw the grey cathedral with the eyes of a child of 10. Oh, the railway arch is smoky as the Flying Scot goes by, and but for the Education Act, go jump across and die. But war is a bitter bugle that all must learn to blow, and it didn't take long to stop the song in the dirty Italian snow. A war is a casual mistress, and the world her double bed. She has a few charms in her mechanized arms, but you wake up and find yourself dead. The olive tree in winter casts her banner down, and the priest in white and scarlet comes up from the muddy town. Oh, nevermore will Jumper watch the Flying Scot go by. His funeral knell was a 6-inch shell singing across the sky. The Queen of Castile has a daughter who won't come home again. She lies in the grey cathedral under the arms of Spain. Oh, the Queen of Castile has a daughter torn out by the roots, her lovely breast and stone-cold chest under the farmer's boots. Now I like a Spanish party at many, oh many's the day. I have watched her swim as the night came dim in Algeciras Bay. Oh, the high Sierra was thunder, and the seven-branched river of Spain came down to the sea to plunder the heart of the sailor again. Oh, shall I leap in the river and knock upon paradise door for a gunner of 27 and a half and a queen of 24? From the almond tree by the river I watch the sky with a groan, for Jumper and Kate are always out late, and I lie here alone. Thank you so much, Stephen. You've asked for some very interesting folk ones. I love folk, but I've never been considered part of that community. Well, whatever reason, could be my own doing.
You're judged by those inside the community and barred from entry.
I'm not judged by
Juiced
anybody.
on-
It's fine. It's fine. That was the second I strong-armed him into redoing it, because we did another version
It's in a different key.
in a different key, which when I listened back to it, this is very rare we do this, but when I listened back to it, it was lower and I was chesting it high. I was going, ah, and I felt that sound was very wooden and very monochromatic.
Whereas the folk people would probably like that more if they're true
Probably.
70s
But
and 80s folk.
I like to use
people.
if it's a note that keeps recurring, it's got to be that note has more colors in it.
And this is why they see
And
you as non-folk.
I didn't hear the colors, so I was like,
That's
please,
okay.
please, can we redo it?
But if you're a member of Patreon,
Exactly.
Patricia Hammond, which
That's
you
why
can
I'm
find on
mentioning
Patreon,
it.
because that's her name, and the Patreon website is the website
It's
called
only
Patreon.
$3 a month.
Literally nothing. You can see
You get
alternate
lots
versions
of-
and things like that.
lots
You
of
see,
stuff.
does that appeal to you? Are
Then,
you
there you
somebody who's
go.
like, do they do alternative takes, or do they just always go with the one thing, or
Usually.
did we try in a
but-
different place or instrument or something like that? Well, therein you can find the answer. You can also go to Patricia Hammond songs on Instagram to see some close-up, still not often as cropped photos.
I was
as-
wearing a different bra in the other take. This is a very different silhouette.
So if that is not an advert, I don't know what is.
There you go.
And if you would like to record a song, just like we had Francis Stephen here, then go to patriciahammond.com/request, which is also linked in the description of this video. That may interest you to request for somebody else,
knows?
request for yourself.
Or you can look at what we've done, which is crazy. This is a crazy lot of stuff. But
on that same link, yeah.
thank you. And other things that Stephen has requested. So this, that one was, and also when this dress came, it's been used twice before. Once for the really insane Erlkönig that we did, which involved the smoke machine. Honestly, I do point people to that request because it was probably one of the most insane things that he's ever done. Anyway, thank you very much, Stephen.
No, Patricia and I have this duet, and it's good because it's free, judgment-free zone for creativity.
Except when he judges me because I want to retake something. But I'm because Patreon does pay a little. We have about 12 patrons. You know who you are.
You may be
Thank
the 13th,
you so much.
maybe you be the 14th.
Maybe, and
We don't mention it very often.
I sometimes I keep the money because what I've been contributing is a whole bunch of old like a whole bunch of articles and written things that I've written, but in this case I'm definitely gonna share, and I depending, I'm gonna definitely share some money with him so that he didn't have to do that retake for nothing. That's gonna be paid for by Patreon contributions.
People are interested in a little bit behind the scenes, and that's where you're going to get that.
Very mercenary talk, but then
I hope
we both earn money.
I do hope that you
doing
still
music.
get something through our version, and you're not too wedded. It's quite a rare recording.
It is not a well-known one,
because folk music or any music, it breathes and lives. And if you just want to unless you're an impersonation act, or a theatrical
Where are you going with
thing.
this? I'm not sure. I'll watch back and I'll understand what he's saying.
Yeah, pretty much. Otherwise, you just do it. That's why it's got difference to the last version we did, which you'll see when you subscribe to Patreon, and the
I see what you're saying.
and the original. So that's just how
I
it
do
goes.
like the poetry of Charles Causley. I really do.
Let's pose for a nice picture.
It's
for the
yes. Oh yes. Charles Causley, he wrote a lot of poems that aren't. He's not trying to be artsy with them. They rhyme. They have. This is kind of a Second World War kind of. It's almost like those sort of Eric Bogle era type. Looking back on the war sort of thing, and the emotional impact of it. Sort of later on in like the 60s and 70s. Only in this case, it's not. It's kind of a little more subtle, and that he thinks about death a lot because of his childhood friend who died, and then he thinks about Katherine of Aragon. I love it. I think now I do like his poems. I like poets who sort of do that kind of folky kind of poetry that just really wants to, I don't know, it's timeless somehow. Put any thoughts you have about Charles Causley in the
Comment,
because I would really like to know.
Start a discussion about folk revival songs and
poetry.
Those sort of poems, and if you think about them as poems, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
See you later, though.
See you. Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much,
watching.
Stephen.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.